Hey, what's going on? It's Devin here from Cover 3 Media. I know it's been a while since any videos have been posted on this channel, but we're bringing you a new video today. It's going to be a 2024 Superflex full PPR 12-team rookie mock draft to go over this exciting class right before the NFL Combine gets kicked off next weekend. So it's going to be a 12-teamer. So we're going to start with the 101 and go all the way down to the 112. This is just my opinion so far from what I'm seeing from this class and what gets me excited about certain players I have going maybe earlier than some others do. Now, this is Superflex, so every team in a Superflex league starts two quarterbacks, so keep that in mind as well. So quarterbacks are going to be more valuable in a mock draft like this. So let's get things started. Yeah, obviously, am I going to take the guy who's probably going number one in the real NFL draft at the 101? Not so fast. I'm actually going to go with Marvin Harrison Jr., wide receiver out of Ohio State. He's going to be 22 by the time the NFL season starts. Back-to-back 1,200-yard season, 14 touchdown seasons at Ohio State. He's a physical specimen. He's very talented. He's got everything you want. I've been seeing some comps to A.J. Green, which I really like. Don't forget A.J. Green was a bad man. So I think Marvin Harrison is just a can't-miss prospect. Yes, I know a lot of people are going to be taking Caleb Williams at the 101, which I completely am fine with, especially if you need a quarterback. This is a super flex league, so quarterbacks are going to be more valuable. But I just think Marvin's can't miss. I think there are some questions about Caleb that do scare me, some fit issues potentially in Chicago. It just worries me a bit. I'd rather take the guy that I feel the most confident in. I think we're getting a guy that's probably, when he walks on the field in Dynasty landscapes, he's probably going to be in the top 6 for Dynasty wide receivers. In my opinion, he'll probably be 6 or 7 right away. We'll see where he ends up. I think Arizona is kind of the spot a lot of people have been seeing and predicting. So if he goes there, I'd love that. So I'm going to start it off here with 101 Marvin Harrison. Now we're going to go to 102, the guy I already mentioned, Caleb Williams, quarterback out of USC. He's most likely going number one in the real NFL draft to the Chicago Bears. I think Chicago is going to trade Justin Fields. I would if I were them. He's shown some upside, some flashes, but it's not been resulting in wins. I think Caleb Williams is a special prospect, can make every throw in the book. I think sometimes the off script can hurt him or help him, obviously. He can make some Patrick Mahomes-esque plays. Let's keep it in that realm. Patrick Mahomes is the baby goat, so let's not get our head twisted too much before we see Caleb Williams play in the NFL. I love him a lot, especially if I need a quarterback. I'm not afraid taking him at the 101. I just think Marvin, some people might be underestimating how good he can be because I think it's just the oh yeah, we've been talking about him for years and years, been waiting for him to come out. Same thing might be said for Caleb Williams, but Caleb Williams is still a guy I would love to draft and build my dynasty team around. I think he's going to end up being a top 6 or 7 dynasty quarterback the time he enters the field, enters NFL and steps on the field, just like Marvin for the receiver position. So I'm going to take Caleb at the 102. This is Superflex, just a reminder. And so far, if you're enjoying this video, like it, subscribe to us. Might have some more videos coming out on this rookie class and this off season, where you can really fire your team up and get it just on another level for next season that can really help you get an advantage against your opponents. And comment some guys that you think I put too high or too low, or who I'm underestimating and forgetting about. All right, so let's dive into the 103. The 103, yes, most people are going to be taking a quarterback here because it's Superflex, which I completely get again. But I'm going to be taking Malik Neighbors, wide receiver out of LSU, 6'1", 185. I think if it wasn't for Marvin, he would be the number one receiver in this class. And I think he's honestly one of the best prospects at the receiver position we've seen in 3 or 4 years. He's got a great combination of size and speed. Had a monster season with Jaden Daniels this past season, 89 receptions, 1,500 yards, 14 touchdowns. The upside is through the roof, guys. He could be a special player. I could see him being number one receiver for an offense immediately. Definitely be patient with the guy a bit. I don't know how spectacular it would be right off the jump, but I think he's got all the upside in the world. His yards per route run in college this last year was 3.64. That is crazy. Usually anything over 2.5, 2.6 is pretty crazy in the NFL. We'll see how that translates. I've just been in awe of this player all last season and kind of when he broke out as a sophomore. It's the LSU tradition too in the NFL that gets me excited about this guy. And he's going to potentially land in a spot like the Chargers. Oh, him and Herbert? Come on. All All right, let's kick off to the next spot. At 104, it will be a quarterback. This, though, might surprise some people as well. I'm going to go with Drake May, quarterback out of UNC. I think some people are sleeping on him a bit. A lot of people are taking Jaden Daniels over him, which I get with the rushing upside. For me, I personally play in a lot of 6-point passing touchdown leagues, so rushing for a quarterback is a little bit less valuable than it would be in a 4-point per passing touchdown league in fantasy football. Still definitely is going to help you either way. But Drake May, I think he's got a hose of an arm, can make a lot of throws. A lot of people have compared him to Justin Herbert. I see that a bit. Definitely that's a little bit of a high expectation. It's definitely going to depend where this guy ends up going in the draft. He's going to be a top, 5 pick, I think, for sure in the NFL draft, maybe even top 3. He's got a lot of things I like. He's got athleticism, can make a lot of throws. There's definitely some things he needs to work on, like all these quarterbacks. But I think Drake May has a guy that has a lot of upside that we're not talking about enough. And just watch the film. He's an exciting player. And if you like Jaden Daniels more, I completely get that. I just like, as of right now, Drake May more. Obviously, things can change after the combine, pro days, and where they end up landing in the NFL, where they're actually going to be playing. All right, so next up at the 105, I do have Jaden Daniels, quarterback out of LSU, the Heisman Trophy winner. Had an outstanding season, showed a lot of rushing ability, had a great pass-to-interception ratio as well. Played with Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas. Brian Thomas we'll get to later. He's a spectacular player. He's exciting. His running ability is very add-on that can really help boost his value in dynasty leagues, which I completely get. I'm just a little bit worried that he did struggle at Arizona State before he came to LSU. But I think he can definitely be an outstanding player. And, if you need a quarterback, this is a guy that could potentially be, a league winner for you down the road. So I know I might be sleeping on Jaden Daniels a little bit at the 105, but there's a lot of damn good prospects ahead of him here. So don't get on me too bad in the comments if you're a Jaden Daniels stand. But he is a talented guy. Don't get me wrong. All right. Now at the 106, this isn't tight end premium, but it doesn't matter at all to me. I'm going with Brock Bowers, tight end out of Georgia. I've been waiting for this guy to come out to the draft for so long. He is just basically a receiver playing the tight end position. He's not going to be in there blocking a ton, I don't think. I think it's going to be kind of like how when Kyle Pitts was coming out, except I think Brock Bowers is hopefully going to go to a better situation that Kyle Pitts went to. I don't see him in line as much. I think he's going to be kind of like where Sam Laporta did as a rookie. I think he could definitely produce stats like that. I know I talked about Malik Neighbors maybe going to the Chargers, but maybe the Chargers go with Brock Bowers as well to help with Justin Herbert, give him another weapon. I think Brock Bowers is a talented guy. He dominated the SEC, which is such a physical conference and physical play every week, and no one could stop him ever. He was Georgia's top guy for a while, pretty much since he was a freshman almost. I think there's not a lot of holes in this game. This is for fantasy purposes. He's going to be catching the ball a lot, especially in tight end premium. You're going to love if you can get him at the 106. I've seen him fall a little bit more past this pick. I would grab him. Obviously, if you don't need a tight end, some guys are going to get bumped up, but that's just the way it goes. All right, so at the 107, I'm going to be taking another wide receiver. This guy is Rome Odunze, wide receiver out of Washington. Definitely can be a wide receiver 1 for an NFL team. 15 yards was his average depth of target at Washington. That's very high and shows he can make big plays, which can definitely lead to fantasy points in the NFL. He had great hands, definitely came down with some great plays, making plays with his hands, making plays that a lot of other guys cannot make, even in the NFL probably right now. He'll be 22 when the time the NFL comes around. When he's playing on the field, he'll be 22. He's had 2 other guys on his team that will definitely be drafted within probably the 3rd or 4th round, probably even the 2nd or 3rd round. 2 guys, which also just shows how special he was to put up a big season when having other NFL wide receivers pretty much playing with him. I think this is where the tier ends. For me, I think Rome can be a wide receiver 1 for a team. We'll see what happens where he ends up going. That's definitely going to play a part in it as well. But let's just see. I really like what I'm seeing. He's also a pretty physical specimen, not on Marvin Harrison level, but Rome is also a great guy to get at this 107 spot. If you do have picks in your rookie drafts past the 107, where I think this tier kind of ends right now, as of now things can emerge after, more things in the process happen. But I think if you have picks 108 to 112, don't be afraid to sell them for proven players that have less questions about them. Definitely there's going to be guys here that you're going to like to grab in drafts, but don't be afraid to sell these picks before maybe some of your league mates realize that, yeah, there is kind of a break off here at the 108. But anyways, this is Superflex, so I'm going to value J.J. McCarthy here at the 108, quarterback out of Michigan, national champion. Didn't wow a ton of people with his stats because Michigan had such a dominant defense and such a dominant run game. But he is an athletic quarterback, ran a pro-style system at Michigan that I think can translate to the NFL. I think, we saw some flashes where he can make some big throws down the field and things like that. I think if he goes to the right system that definitely has some playmakers around him and lets him, throw the ball more than he obviously did at Michigan, I think there's a lot of upside there, and this is Superflex, so I think this is great value to get this a quarterback here at the 108. He is pretty much emerging as that fourth quarterback going to be taking the NFL draft from what I'm seeing and hearing, all around the league. Now next at the 109 is Malik Neighbors and Jayden Daniels' teammate Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver out of LSU. He's 6'4", had double-digit touchdowns this season, performed excellent with having Malik Neighbors, a guy that's on another level as well, playing alongside him. It was really impressive that he was able to produce with a guy of that talent playing next to you and still putting up big numbers. We'll see where Brian Thomas ends up going. Been seeing late first round and some mock drafts from the NFL. That would definitely be huge. Could he be a number one receiver for a team? I don't know, but definitely a good wide receiver too, which definitely can translate to a lot of PPR fantasy points for everybody. Now at the 110, there hasn't been a running back drafted yet. This isn't a great running back class. You've been probably hearing everywhere on these fantasy football videos. It just isn't a great class. We don't got no Bijan Robinson or Jahmyr Gibbs this season. Travion Henderson, I think if he came out, would have helped it a bit. But honestly, probably would have still had this guy above him. He tore his ACL in November, which definitely hurts. We're going to have to be a little bit patient if you're going to be taking him. But it's going to be Jonathan Brooks, running back out of Texas. 6 foot, 200 pounds. Had a pretty damn good year. 6 yards per carry, 10 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards, 25 receptions too. Watching his tape, he definitely had a sense of linebacker flow and just patience running the ball, which is definitely important in the NFL. And he's not afraid to get physical with his great size, definitely finishes runs very greatly, and definitely just shows like a guy that can produce in the NFL given the opportunity that if he gets an opportunity that can really help translate his skills to the NFL. If he goes that second round, definitely this is where I like to draft him, maybe even earlier, depending where he goes. He'll be 21 years old when he steps on the NFL field. Definitely probably might not play right away because he tore his ACL in November, but definitely just be patient, guys. We're seeing in modern medicine, people coming back from ACLs a lot quicker. I mean, Breece Hall tore his ACL. He really didn't look like he missed a beat. I definitely started out a little bit slow in some games, but man, he still looked pretty damn good for having an ACL tear. So I like Jonathan Brooks, only running back I have going in this first round. Next, I got another Texas guy going here at 111. It's Xavier Worthy from Texas, the wide receiver. He's kind of a hybrid where he lines up. Definitely, I would say deep threat, got that speed. He definitely had a couple of concentration drop issues in college, which I think he can definitely fix. I've seen a lot of mock drafts of him going to the Chiefs, and if he goes there, I know the Chiefs have whiffed on a few receivers like Sky Moore, but man, I would be excited. The Chiefs really value speed. I think he could take over for MVS and just produce a lot of points. He might be not a consistent guy at the fantasy level because he might rely on those big plays, but I think at this point in the draft, I'm happy with that. There's definitely a lot of other receivers that are in this range that people like Troy Franklin out of Oregon, like a Texas teammate, Adonai Mitchell, as well. There's some other guys, too, that a lot of people are liking. Right now, I like Xavier Worthy the most out of that group of receivers. Now, to finish off this draft at the 112, another quarterback, Michael Penix Jr., had a fantastic season. I know he's older. I know he's had injury history, but he was a winner at Washington this last year, had a great deep ball, did play with a lot of NFL talent at receiver. If he goes in the right system with a lot of playmakers, I definitely can see it. I've seen Tua comparisons. I think in this Superflex draft, it's a great value for the quarterback here, which a guy who probably will go in the first round or early second in the NFL draft. Well, that's going to be it, guys. Thank you for tuning in. This Superflex 12-team PPR mock draft. Definitely, hopefully, has some more content coming soon. Again, give it a like if you enjoy this. Subscribe to us here on YouTube. And in the comments, leave what you disagree with me, what you agree with. We're all here for it. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you later. Devin out here at Cover 3 Media.